Hello and welcome back to Ironbark Benny's, your one-stop shop for all things booze, blues and barbecues. I'm Ironbark Benny and today I'm cooking chicken lollipops. That's right, nice and easy, nice and tasty, something for a summer's afternoon. I can't wait. Let's get into it. Right, so we're kicking off with 6 chicken drumsticks here, and the key thing here is turning them into lollipops. So that takes a little bit of skill and a little bit of time and effort, but it's not too hard, and if you stick to it, you'll get it done pretty easy. So the first thing you need to do is find where the meat comes down to the bone here, just above that narrow point, and you're going to cut all the way around that drumstick. It's not too hard. Use a nice sharp knife, make sure you're hitting the bone, cut through all the tendons, cut through all the meat, and go right the way around the bone, and that'll get you sorted as a starting point. So then you're going to grab some paper towels and you're just going to work that big piece of knuckle bone and all the skin and meat that goes with it. And you keep working that until it pops right off the end of the bone. Just like that. That one actually snapped off, but you can see that tendon there. You want to grab that tendon with a nice paper towel, yank it right out. Those are those pieces that aren't very nice to eat, and this just makes for a whole lot better eating experience. You can actually pull a few more out. I'll come back to that in a minute, and we'll get the rest of those tendons out. But first of all, I'm going to get the rest of these lollipops all trimmed up. Pull the skin down and then square off the end so that it stands up nice and straight when you put it down on the board. And there you go, chicken lollipop. Just want to show you something here. This is where you when you're eating a whole chicken drumstick and you bite into it and you get those bits of sinew and tendon and they get stuck in your teeth, and it really, in my book, it ruins a chicken drumstick. I mean, a chicken drumstick's tasty, but I don't actually like eating them all that much. So in a lollipop, you can grab all those tendons and one at a time, you can pull them out. You need a nice dry bit of paper towel and you can just yank them out. It's not easy, but I tell you what, an extra 30-40 seconds per drumstick and you've got nothing left to chew on at the end. It's all just meat, delicious, nothing to get stuck in your teeth, and it's just a much better way to eat chicken. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do for this is I'm going to mix up a little brine. I want these chicken lollipops to sit in that brine for 45 minutes to an hour just to get some real flavour on them, get them absorbing some flavour. So into this pan I'm going to mix in about 1/3 of a cup of salt, equal parts brown sugar, dark sugar in this case I'm using soft brown sugar. I've got some onion powder, going with about a tablespoon, doesn't have to be precise, and the same with onion. Into that, I'm tipping a bunch of water, probably around 1 litre of water, and it's just a case of dissolving that up. You can heat this up a little bit if you like, but I'm just going to let this sit. Give it a good old stir up. That brine's going to go straight into this pan. Into the pan, it's going to go the chicken. And that's going to be for about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to add some ice to this though, just to make sure the temperatures remain super cold and I don't need to worry about any bugs. As you can see, I've added some ice. Let's give it a final stir around. That's going to help keep the chicken under the brine. It's going to help keep it nice and healthy and cold so that we don't get any bugs. And I'm going to be back in about 45 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go fire up the barbecue. Okay, so today I'm going to be cooking on the Weber Master Touch Premium. All-time favourite. I love this barbecue so much. It's done me so well since I've owned it in the last few months. Going to be aiming for a slightly hot cook today, around the 325 Fahrenheit mark. You need to have that slightly higher temperature to make that chicken skin crispy. Nothing worse than rubbery chicken skin, right? So I'm going to be setting this up with some nice lump charcoal off to one side, kind of how I normally do it for these hotter cooks. Get some hot charcoal on top, get this thing nice and hot, and then we're going to get that chicken on, so stand by. Alright, so as you can see, our charcoal is screaming hot. Ready to go in the barbecue, ready for the big tip. For those of you who follow the channel will know that it's tradition around here to crack a beer when we light the smoker. Today, courtesy of Carl, the only beer I have, is a waffle and blueberry stout, coming in at a beautiful 6.9% alcohol, apparently a breakfast beer. Let's give it a try. Woo. That's sensational. Wow. If that's breakfast beer, I know what I'm having for breakfast. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is get these bits of chicken out of the brine and dry them off a little bit. So I'm going to pull them out one by one. Just get them around a little bit of that paper towel. Just want to get off that excess moisture. Don't want them dripping wet. You can see the colour. These bits of chicken have picked up that dark colour from the sugar. You can tell that they've picked up all that flavour if they've got the colour. That's the good thing about it. And I've got some beautiful Taste of India sizzling tikka. I'm going to explain why I'm using an Indian seasoning here, because later on I'm going to make a curry barbecue sauce to go with these. Absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to hit these. Doesn't have to be heavy. Give them a turn. This rub's got no salt in it. I like that. I'm a big fan of making meat salty as you like, but without using salt in the rub. So I think it's difficult when you have salt in the rub and you add more salt. It gets a little bit difficult to control the amount of salt you're using, and I don't like that. I like to have full control of the salt. You don't want too much, but you don't want too little either. And I like the fact that this rub has no salt at all. It gives me ultimate control. There's a lot of salt in that brine. We've just got quite a lot of salt in the meat now. Shouldn't need much, and if I need to finish it, I can tip some, finish it with a little dusting of salt at the end. So these look absolutely fantastic now. They're ready to go on the barbecue. We're going to take them outside and get them on the smoke as soon as possible. Let's go. Alright, so our barbecue's up to about 350 Fahrenheit. At the top of the dome, it's going to be about 320, 330 on the cooking grate. Exactly what I want. Beautiful, just hitting the nice bit of smoke wood here. It's just starting to give off a beautiful aroma. And get this chicken straight on. And like I said earlier, the chicken's got to cook for about 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, I want this chicken falling off the bone. You don't want that chewy skin, you don't want tearing the meat. You want it to fall off the bone, you want it to still be juicy. The brine's going to help us keep the juice in there. So I'm just going to let this sit for 45 minutes and I'm going to come out and check it, see how things are going. But for now, I'm going to go spin some tunes and have another beer. Right, I'm about 10 minutes into the cook and I'm going to throw these leeks on right above the charcoal. I want these leeks to burn, like really burn. They need to get black and melted on the inside. They're going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, so I'm going to whip up a little barbecue sauce that these chicken lollipops are going to get dipped in. So I've got some regular old barbecue sauce, just run of the mill. This one's quite a nice one. It's got some nice smokiness, it's got some nice fruity flavours in it. And I'm just going to get around about half that bottle in there. I probably won't use all of this, but you need a little bit of volume to be able to dip Okay. I'm going to get the rest in there. I can always tip it back in the bottle. And to that, I'm going to be adding an interesting ingredient. And this is katsu curry paste. Now, who doesn't like a good katsu curry? Now I've put tikka masala, so I've got some Indian spice on that chicken already. And now I'm going to come in with some Japanese curry. Got a real curry thing going on here, and I just want maybe two tablespoons. I'm going to get the gas on here and just start warming this through. And the other thing I'm going to get in here is a little bit of honey. You got to bear with me because this honey is quite hard. But I'm just going to get around about a tablespoon or two of honey, just to really make this pop. And I don't need too much of anything else. This is really just going to be for dipping the chicken lollipops in, giving them a bit of a glaze and a really beautiful flavour on top. And we're going to do that about 10 minutes from the end, and then we're going to let this tack up on the chicken, finish off nicely, and give us some really beautiful flavours on the outside of that chicken. Alright, well, as you can see, I'm going to pop open and have a look at what's going on in the barbecue. Got the leeks are starting to get nice and black. That's what you want to see. Give them a turn, and we'll shut the lid and keep things cooking. Yum. So the chicken has reached about 155, 160. You can see it's looking really delicious. And it just looks fantastic, right? The leeks, beautiful and soft on the inside. They look burnt as shit, but that's normal, right? That's what I want. They're just soft and delicious on the inside. So now the final step. We're now get this barbecue sauce here. And all I'm going to do is take these chickens, shake off the excess, get them straight back in here. Get them over these pans so they don't drip into my barbecue. Okay, we're going to test this chicken. I don't know if you can see, but she's reading about 170 on the dot. And I want these to go through to about 175. But they're going to keep cooking for a few minutes after I take them off. So I reckon they've got about 1 more minute on the barbecue. And then they're ready to go inside and rest. Okay, so as you can see, we've hit high 160s to 170s, and I'm going to pull these chicken now. There's no need to cook them any further. Okay, so now what am I going to do with these leeks? They've been resting here for about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. And they're getting nice and soft, and they're ready to be chopped up and seasoned with a little olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then finished with a little bit of honey and red wine vinegar. So this is pretty easy. I'm just going to hit these nice diagonal and just beautiful. I don't know if you can see, but that flesh on the inside is just melted and amazing. So into a steel pan they go. Absolutely beautiful. And into that steel pan a little bit of olive oil, beautiful bit of black pepper, and a nice dusting of salt, not too heavy. And I'm just going to give them a beautiful toss in that olive oil. And they're going to sit for a few minutes like that, all nice and delicious. Alright guys, well, as you can see, I've got a little bit of a side salad going. I'm ready to plate up. The chicken's been sitting for about 5 or 10 minutes now, just enough to cool down, absorb all that juice again, and then be ready to serve. So I'm going to put some chicken on the plate, get some of these melted onions. The last thing I'm going to do with the melted leeks, should have called them leeks, sorry. The last thing I'm going to do, I've just mixed up a little bit of red wine vinegar, honey, and a few sprigs of thyme. I'm just going to give them a tiny splash. They don't need much of that. I'll give them one final toss. Alright, and I don't know if you can see that, but that beautiful flesh is just ready to pop out. So we're going to get a few of these beautiful leeks here. That's already come out. Oh, it's out of control, I tell you what. There we go. A couple of beautiful chicken lollipops. Finish them off, a little bit of thyme. And a little bit of smoked sea salt over the onions and over the chicken. And that, my friends, is one seriously tasty dinner. Today's also a cool day because my new turntables arrived, and to celebrate, and for this video, I'm going to be dropping the needle on an all-time favourite of mine, Aquila. Sitting on the park bench, I little girls with bad hands. Alright team, well that's another awesome cook done. It's been pretty simple, nothing too difficult. I brined some chicken, turned them into lollipops, cooked them on the smoker, 325, 350, not too important, just nice and hot. Had them on there for about an hour in the end. They've got a beautiful barbecue sauce mixed with katsu curry paste and a little bit of Jack Daniels at the end. And we'll just dip them in that 10 minutes before they're finished, just to give them a beautiful outside, crusty, delicious flavour. They were seasoned with some sizzling tikka rub, not too much salt in that at all. I threw some leeks on for half an hour. You can see I burnt the shit out of them. That's what you want. You want them burned black and melted on the inside. And I can't even begin to tell you how good that tastes. Little side salad, nothing important. I've got a blackberry gin bramble to go with this, served over some ice. I know this is a bit lazy, but this is a nice summer drink, actually. Didn't know it was going to be pink. Hope I like this. Got Jethro Tull on in the background, bit of Aqualung, absolutely fantastic, one of my favourite records. The new turntables sounding amazing, and I can't wait any longer. I've got to taste one of these chicken lollipops. This one right here looks absolutely fantastic. Oh my god. That chicken is juicy. It's got so much flavour from the brine. It's tender, velvety, falling off the bone. You can see I'm not having to tear at it. Just coming right off. That's beautiful, man. Real easy. Brine chicken. Smoke it. When you pull all those tendons out, it just makes for a much nicer eating experience. Gets rid of all those weird chewy bits, and you're just left with delicious chicken. Easy to eat. Hold it by the end. And that's a chicken lollipop. Got these amazing melted onions here. And this is just falling apart. I keep calling them onions, leeks, whatever you want to call them. But well, that's just falling apart, melting. Like I say, melting in the mouth. A little bit of olive oil, salt, red wine vinegar just picks them up. You get these bits here and you just squeeze out the inside, right? So you just squeeze it out, and there you go. Absolutely sensational dinner. Great music in the background. See if this is any good. Absolutely horrible. I'd never buy that again. But it is what it is. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hope lockdown's easing wherever you are. And I look forward to being back next time with another awesome video. Cheers. Well team, that was another awesome cook. So simple, so delicious, not too heavy, just a really good summer's dinner. Don't know about the drink, probably wouldn't buy that again. Yeah, that was a chick drink, and I'm going to have to settle that up with a nice scotch or something like that. Give that a go, guys. I got to tell you, like, a chicken drumstick normal with all those sinews and tendons in it, it's not that nice to eat, really. No matter how good it tastes, you get those sinews in your teeth and you kind of, I don't know, it's not that enjoyable. But cut that top off, pull those tendons out, and you're just left with the meat, and it's easy to get to. It all falls off the bone. Absolutely delicious. If you like the video, tap like, subscribe, and I'll be back in a week or two with another new video. Cheers, guys. Have a good time. Out.